viewers and my dear students, I welcome you all. So I will continue with the last topic, that is carcinoma of esophagus. Carcinoma of esophagus. So we have seen the three sides, upper one third, middle one third and lower one third of esophagus gets involved, and how the etiopathogenesis occurs, and we have already seen the symptoms also. Now today I will like to discuss the investigations. So what investigations are done in case of carcinoma of esophagus? So investigations are, so there is low Hb because of anemia. Then liver function tests are altered. Why? So SGPT, SGOT all will be altered. Why? Because due to the secondaries in liver and the left supraclavicular nodes are palpable, that is Troyer sign. Along with there is ascites and rectovesical deposits. So due to this, the liver function test will be altered. Then barium swallow. Barium swallow will demonstrate the irregular, persistent filling defects. So there will be filling defects during this investigation, barium swallow, that will demonstrate the persistent irregular filling defects. Then esophagoscopy. Esophagoscopy will check the pathology and the advancement of the disease, and also it will take biopsy. So esophagoscopy is very essential and important investigation because it will take biopsy. It will take biopsy. Then X-ray chest. So chest X-ray will rule out the aspiration pneumonia or mediastinal widening. So if there is mediastinal widening or aspiration pneumonia, chest X-ray will demonstrate this. Then ultrasound. Ultrasound will rule out the secondaries in liver, ascites or lymph nodes in porta hepatis. Also the celiac nodes. So ultrasound will detect the lymph nodes involved, the inflammation of the lymph nodes of porta hepatis and celiac nodes, and also it will detect the secondaries in liver if present. Then endoscopic ultrasound. Endoscopic ultrasound will detect the depth of the wall involvement. So how much the depth of the wall has been involved. So that will get detected by endoscopic ultrasound. Then bronchoscopy. Bronchoscopy will rule out the bronchus involvement. If bronchus is involved, so bronchoscopy will check that. Then CT chest. Yes. Then CT scan is also done of chest. So that will look out, or that will rule out the infiltration, the local infiltration if occurred. So that will get detected in CT chest. So these are the investigations. So there will be low hemoglobin, liver function test will be altered because of the secondaries in liver. Barium swallow will detect the irregular, persistent filling defect. Esophagoscopy is done to take biopsy and to check the pathology. X-ray chest will rule out the mediastinal widening and aspiration pneumonia. Then endoscopic ultrasound will detect the depth of wall involvement, and bronchoscopy is done to check the or to rule the involvement of bronchus. Now treatment. treatment of esophagus depends on three conditions. If there is carcinoma of upper one-third esophagus, so if upper one-third of esophagus is affected, there is cancer of upper one-third of esophagus, then we will do total esophagectomy. Total esophagectomy. So we will remove the esophagus, followed by gastric pull. Followed by gastric pull and anastomosis. So if there is cancer of upper one-third of esophagus, so total esophagectomy is done, followed by gastric pull and pharyngogastric anastomosis. So the anastomosis done is pharyngogastric anastomosis in neck. So as esophagus will be removed, so we will anastomose the pharyngo and gastric. So pharyngogastric anastomosis is done in the neck. Then if this is the first treatment for upper one-third of esophagus cancer, and if the middle one-third is affected, middle one-third of esophagus is affected, then total esophagectomy is very risky. It is not possible because there will be involvement of the adjacent structures. But if the mediastinal structures, if surrounding mediastinal structures are not involved, then we will do the total esophagectomy. If the surrounding mediastinal structures are not involved, then we can go for the total esophagectomy, that is removal of the esophagus. If there is fibrosis, so that will cause narrowing of the lumen. So we will dilate it by using gum elastic bogies. So we will dilate the lumen by using gum elastic bogies, because due to fibrosis there will be narrowing lumen. Then third condition is if the lower part of upper one-third gets affected, or the upper part of if the lower part of one-third of middle esophagus get affected and the upper part of lower one-third esophagus. So if the cancer has affected the lower part of upper one-third middle esophagus and lower part of upper part of lower one-third esophagus and upper part of one-third middle esophagus. So if the lower part of upper one-third middle esophagus and upper part of lower one-third esophagus get affected, so we will go for the Ivor Lewis operation. This is for the if there is cancer in the lower part of upper 1/3 middle esophagus and upper part of lower 1/3 esophagus, then we will do the Ivar-Levi's operation. So we will do what? We will cut the abdomen, and after cutting the abdomen, stomach is mobilized, and then we will close the wound, and then we will keep the patient in left lateral position and throw the 6th intercostal space. So remember, through the 6th intercostal space, we will do the thoracotomy, and then we will remove the affected part. So the part where cancer has occurred, that is the lower part of upper 1/3 middle esophagus and upper part of lower 1/3 esophagus. We will remove this, and then the esophagogastric anastomosis is done in the thorax above the aortic arch. So the esophagogastric anastomosis is done in the thorax above the aortic arch. Here the pharyngogastric anastomosis was done in neck in upper 1/3 esophagus. Because esophagus has removed, so we have to join pharynx and stomach. So pharyngogastric anastomosis is done. Pharyngogastric anastomosis is done in neck. But when middle esophagus is affected, and especially if the lower part of 1/3 middle and upper part of lower 1/3 esophagus is affected, then we will do what? We will do the thoracotomy, and then we will remove the portion that affected cancerous portion, and then we will do esophagogastric anastomosis in thorax. Then treatment for lower 1/3. So if lower 1/3 esophagus is affected, so we will do radical esophagogastrectomy. Radical esophagogastrectomy. So we will remove the esophagus. See, this is the esophagus. So if the lower 1/3 of esophagus is affected, so we remove the esophagus along with the some part of stomach and lymph nodes which are involved. So we will remove the lymph nodes along with some part of stomach and that lower part 1/3 of lower esophagus, and anastomosis is done in neck. Followed by gastric pull, the anastomosis is done in neck. So this is radical esophagogastrectomy, when the lower part, the lower 1/3 of esophagus is removed along with some part of stomach and some lymph nodes which are affected. So this radical esophagogastrectomy is done when there is cancer of 1/3 lower esophagus.